All right, y'all, we're going to get into the book of Micah today. Plus, there is a video of a Christian minister that completely annihilate white Jesus in his church, which is shocking. But, you know, a lot of that is going on now. You know, the awakening is going to happen all kinds of ways. It's going to happen in the Christian church, believe it or not, it's going to happen there as well. But as we're approaching the 400 years, even non-believers are paying attention to this very time. You know, people are not ignoring it like they once did, or people that once didn't believe are now paying attention to this 400-year mark that everybody is approaching, you know, and this is amazing. And I just came across, before I came on here, I came across a National Geographic article talking about all of the solar events that it's supposed to go on between 2019 and 2021. It's a lot of events coming up in the heavens. So it's going to be an amazing year and turn of events. And, you know, you already see things going on, you know, with Trump and this government shutdown. True Royal spoke about earlier this morning. I was reading a little more into that. I mean, this thing can get really deep, and it will impact all of us if the entire government is shut down. You know, there's a lot of people that depend on getting checks through the government and all kinds of things. So, you know, it's going to have that domino effect. Yeah, well, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of things we never seen before. That's what I know will happen. But let's just talk briefly about, yeah, yeah, well, you know, Trump always got something on the agenda. You know, don't be surprised. I mean, he's going to be drama all the way up until his last day of his term. This man is going to be full of drama. Just expect it. Right, Anthony. It's the one thing that can't be broken, and I love it because it never changes. The message never change, and the message can always be applied to something, you know? All right. So Micah is another not very big book, but it is still filled with a lot of things that are important. And some of the scripture actually parallels the book of Isaiah. Now, the book of Micah is a book that they believe was written between 742 and 686 BC, shortly before the northern kingdom actually fell. So, what does it talk about? It's talking about all of the people of Samaria and Jerusalem during those times. The purpose of the book was a warning. Micah actually gives a warning and judgment to both the northern and southern kingdoms at that particular time. And his message was, like I said, very familiar to what you might have heard in the book of Isaiah. Micah actually gets really into describing the upcoming judgment that will eventually cause Israel to go exile. Okay, this is going to break apart the nation. And we're in that state right now. We are scattered all over the place. So when we go through chapter 1 through 5, it really gets very specific into the judgment for the wicked nations. Okay, so it's talking about these nations that have mistreated us and how they will end up getting ruined. So when we get to chapter 5, it is going to start talking about the birthplace of our Messiah, our Black Messiah. When we get to chapter 6 and 7, it's going to go over what the Most High prefers from us. He prefers that we walk humbly. He would prefer our obedience over us doing sacrifices to him. He would much rather for you to be an obedient servant over you worrying about doing a sacrifice. And I think that is something that we should all remember in our daily life, and concentrate on being that good, humble servant for him. So let's get into the book. And then after that, I'm going to play exactly what this minister said about white Jesus. Okay. I think you will enjoy it. But let's get into this book. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, y'all. Let me know if you can see my screen. Just give me a 1 before we get started. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Okay, good. All right, we'll go ahead and get started.
Micah, chapter 1. The word of the Lord that came to Micah, the Morasthite, in the days of Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, which he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem.
Hear, all ye people, hearken, O earth, and all that therein is, and let the Lord God be witness against you, the Lord from his holy temple. For behold, the Lord cometh forth out of his place, and will come down and tread upon the high places of the earth. And the mountains shall be molten under him, and the valley shall be cleft as wax before the fire, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. For the transgression of Jacob is all this, and for the sins of the house of Israel. What is the transgression of Jacob? Is it not Samaria? And what are the high places of Judah? Are they not Jerusalem? Therefore I will make Samaria as an heap of the field, and as plantings of a vineyard, and I will pour down the stones thereof into the valley, and I will discover the foundations thereof. And all the graven images thereof shall be beaten to pieces, and all the hires thereof shall be burned with the fire. And all the idols thereof will I lay desolate, for she gathered it of the hire of an harlot, and they shall return to the hire of an harlot. Therefore I will wail and howl, I will go stripped and naked. I will make a wailing like the dragons, and mournings as the owls. For her wound is incurable, for it is come unto Judah. He is come unto the gate of my people, even to Jerusalem. Declare ye it not at Gath, weep ye not at all. In the house of Aphrah roll thyself in the dust. Pass ye away, thou inhabitant of Sapher, having thy shame naked. The inhabitant of Zanan, come not forth in the morning of Beth-ezel. He shall receive of you his standing. For the inhabitant of Merath waited carefully for good, but evil came down from the Lord unto the gate of Jerusalem. O thou inhabitant of Lachish, bind the chariot to the swift beast. She is the beginning of the sin to the daughter of Zion. For the transgressions of Israel were found in thee. Therefore shalt thou give presents to Moresheth Gath. The houses of Achzib shall be a lie to the kings of Israel. Yet will I bring an heir unto thee, O inhabitant of Maresha. He shall come unto Adullam, the glory of Israel. Make thee bald, and pull thee for thy delicate children. Enlarge thy baldness as the eagle, for they are gone into captivity from thee.
Chapter 2.
Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, We be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy. They shall not prophesy to them, that they shall not take shame. O thou that art in the house of Jacob, is the spirit of the Lord straitened? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war. The women of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Bozrah, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is come up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate, and are gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them.
Chapter 3.
And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones, and chomp them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron? Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth, and cry, Peace! And he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of God. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Israel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment, and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord, and say, Is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest.
Chapter 4.
But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But they shall sit every man under his vine, and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it. For all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. In that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion, from henceforth, even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come. Even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Now, why dost thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Be in pain, and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, Let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth.
Chapter 5.
Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He hath laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Therefore will he give them up, until the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel. And he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall abide, for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. And this man shall be the peace, when the Assyrian shall come into our land, and when he shall tread in our palaces. Then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, and they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod and the entrances thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots. And I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so I will destroy thy cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard.
Chapter 6.
Hear ye now what the Lord saith. Arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice. Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel. O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me. For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, the son of Beor, answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God? The Lord's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee, in making thee desolate because of thy sins. Thou shalt eat, but not be satisfied, and thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee. And thou shalt take hold, but shalt not deliver. And that which thou deliverest will I give up to the sword. Thou shalt sow, but thou shalt not reap. Thou shalt tread the olives, but thou shalt not anoint thee with oil, and sweet wine, but shalt not drink wine. For the statutes of Omri are kept, and all the works of the house of Ahab, and ye walk in their counsels, that I should make thee a desolation, and the inhabitants thereof an hissing. Therefore ye shall bear the reproach of my people.
Chapter 7.
Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. That they may do evil with both hands earnestly, the prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward. And the great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is as a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoreth the father. The daughter riseth up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. In the day that thy walls are to be built, in that day shall the decree be far removed. In that day also he shall come even to thee from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortress even to the river, and from sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. Notwithstanding, the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doings. Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which dwell solitarily in the wood. In the midst of Carmel, let them feed in Bashan and Gilead, as in the days of old. According to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth. Their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again, he will have compassion upon us, he will subdue our iniquities, and thou wilt cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou wilt perform the truth to Jacob, and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old.
Okay. That was Micah. Just in case you didn't catch, the last part of that was the judgment that's going to be on these heathen nations. And, you know, they're going to pay. It's not going to be any running and hiding for them for what they have done to us. Paleo Hebrew, yeah, that's what our people spoke in. Okay, I got another video for you guys that I want you to listen. And it just, you know, the Christian church, we know we don't get all into that, but some of them are actually changing out here. You know, I was reading an article, this probably was like around 2016 when I read this article, and it was talking about how churches were changing their day of worship from Sunday to the Sabbath, because many of them realize they've been doing the wrong day all this time. So a lot of them are no longer doing Sunday service like back in the day. They're doing Saturday service instead. But, you know, this probably is about the third pastor I've seen talk against the white Jesus image. So, you know, you're starting to see it a little more than you ever did in the past. But unfortunately, there are still many churches that are stuck in the white Jesus thing. And in fact, too many. But I'm going to go ahead and play this video so you can listen to them.
This is not Jesus.
That's right.
Did you hear what I just said? He ain't Jesus.
No.
And he sure ain't Jesus.
That's right.
That's not Jesus.
Amen.
Now, the Europeans took this.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh, I'm going to hit hard. Baal prophets took this and made it look like them.
Yeah.
And then use scripture. Servants, obey your masters.
That's right.
And taking that scripture, they manipulated and made themselves that master that the Bible was talking about.
That's right.
So if you want to talk about terrorism, racism is terrorism.
Amen.
If you got me looking up to white people to think they are superior and look down at myself as a black man to teach me that I'm inferior, that is terrorism.
Terrorism.
Right, listen. So what Satan preachers done, they made it, see, it don't matter what color God is, because we don't know.
Right.
We don't know what color God is.
That's right.
And we don't care.
Okay.
But if I got a different agenda,
Yeah.
and I see that you are religious,
Yeah.
I got to manipulate religion to see what I can get out of you.
Yeah.
So Satan messengers made Jesus white.
Yeah.
And some made him black, some made him yellow, some made him brown. But the majority made him white.
That's right.
And what they did with the so-called white Jesus was use imagery so people of color can look at the preacher, then look at the image, and notice that the preacher in the image resembles.
That's right.
and then make them believe that bowing to Jesus is bowing to the preacher.
That's right.
That's why you people still bow to the Pope.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right.
We bow to no man.
Amen.
Now, many of you have this in your church
Yeah.
and in your house.
Yeah.
Some of you go and kiss the picture.
Yeah.
Some of you say that the eyes of statues and pictures cry blood.
Yes.
Some of you are bowing in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son,
Yeah.
in the name of whose son is this?
Whose son is that?
I mean, whose son is this son?
That's right.
This is Baal's son.
Baal's son.
This is the devil's son. This is the son of a liar.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You would say, oh, he called Jesus a liar. That's not Jesus.
Hey.
That's not Jesus.
Go ahead.
So get up off your knees. Stop making a cross.
That's right.
Get up off your knees.
That's right.
That's idolatry.
Idolatry. Hallelujah.
Idolatry. To me.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thou shalt have
No other gods. No other gods before me. No other.
Brother Dre, give me some more juice, brother. Give me some more juice. Give me plenty of juice. Glory to God, I want plenty of juice here.
Amen.
This has contaminated religion. See, a lot of us don't know the impact that imagery has.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. They have put it in your Bibles. Yes. You got it on your stained windows.
Yeah.
You got it on the walls of your house. God says, look unto me, all the ends of the earth, and be ye saved. God didn't say, look at a poster.
Oh, no.
You see, this Satanism gotta come out the churches.
That's right.
That's why your churches are so weak. You're idolatrous. You bow to your preacher.
Amen.
We bow to God. You know the Pope's supposed to be coming to Philadelphia. You're going to find people bowing to him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. If Pope was an apostle like Peter,
Amen.
Peter said, stand up.
Stand up.
I'm a man like you.
That's right.
Stand up.
That's right.
Peter, stand up, I said. The power of imagery. It brands something in a person's mind. So what have happened is this brand have made bigots in the past feel justified in slavery.
That's right.
And one of the methods used to take the fight out the slave is to hold this brand in front of them.
That's right.
And because the slave didn't know the scripture, the learned European misinterpret scripture and said, obey your master. That's right. That's right. That's right. Listen, viewers, this are symbols of terrorism.
That's right.
Now, I know many of you don't like it, and I don't care.
Okay. Made in express English.
Are symbols of terrorism. The scripture that the European used when Ham saw the nakedness of his father. And the book says, a servant of servants you shall be. The European satanic liar said that scripture means that all people of color should serve white.
Right.
And said Jesus, now take this picture, meant it to be. That's terrorism. So what happened? Now let's understand the religion so-called of Christianity promotes this.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
I said Christianity promotes this. Holiness destroys it.
All right, y'all. See, this is why we have learned so many things that were wrong, and those things got to be untaught. Because no, it's not. It's really a book about our history, and things are really backwards, you know, when you really think about it. It's just like many of the people out here will say, oh, well, you got the white man's name. Oh, you got the white man's name. Actually, they got all of their names from the Bible. They got our names. It's really the other way around. Okay, John, Mary, they ran to the Bible and got all of those names. That's not a white man's name. They took our names and put our names on themselves. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of bad things taught to our people. And the sad thing is many of them still believe in this white Jesus thing, and they don't want to let go of it. But you can't hang on to that kind of stuff. Not anymore. We are at a time where we're damn near at the end of this nightmare. And I mean, I feel for the people that don't know the truth and not seeking the truth. But we got to look ahead. You know, we're not going to save them all. We're just not. I wish some of them would wake up. You know, I know more will wake up. But remember, we are a remnant. We're just a remnant. So don't be upset about the separations that are going to take place. We're going to be separating again. When 2019 comes, we're going to be separating even more and more until we are at the exact number that the Most High wants. So we got more separating to do, ladies and gentlemen. And don't be shocked over the ones you may have to let go. Thank you very much, Cameron. Don't be shocked over who you may have to let go. I had to let go of a person that actually came to my hangout and spent time on my hangout and then turned around and did a video against me. And I had to cut him off, plain and simple. You know, no one's above it. Yeah, I mean, that's right, 1/3 elect. Yeah, we all wake up in different points and times in our lives. But one thing I do notice, it seems like the Most High woke a lot of people up, especially when they start getting into their 40s and 50s. I guess that must be the age where people can handle the truth. I don't know, but I know I come across a lot of people that age that suddenly wake up. And, and then, we have a lot of our younger people that had parents that were Hebrew, and they got taught from day one who they were. So, that's a beautiful thing. I wish my life was like that, where I learned from day one, but it didn't turn out that way. And then some people, it's just circumstances happen in their lives and they stumble across the truth. So it happens so many different ways. But one thing I can honestly say, there's a reason. There's a reason why you are awake and so many people around you are blind. He knows who to pick out here. And I think he already knows who will be with him until the very end, and those that will stray off in other directions. Thank you, Pat, P. Pat. And those that will stray off, we're going to see these things happen. So I'm not too upset about the separating that's going on online. You learn, and I've learned and seen things that I'm positive I'm on the right side of things. I'm positive that I am. So it is a beautiful thing. We have to be ready for any kind of change in these last hours of our captivity here. Yeah, it's very common. I'm seeing a lot of people in their 40s and 50s wake up. Very common. It must be something about that age that we just don't know. 5 years. Yeah, see, that's a beautiful thing, It's been longer for me than 5 years, but the time goes by so fast. It really does. It's almost like I just found out and woke up and just trying to connect with other people that are wide awake. It's kind of nice when you can, communicate with people that feel the same way that you do. It's hard out here. It really is. It's hard because sometimes you may be the only person in your immediate area, and another Israelite that may not be wide awake may be miles away from you. Yeah, a lot of people have been woke for 5 years. He shook me awake a little before 5 years. Okay, you're 34, KD. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. There's a reason why he woke us up in different stages. But there's nothing wrong with that. We're going to be at different levels going into the kingdom. So, some people will be newly awakened and some of us will be awake for a long time. As long as you repent and live your life humbly and don't stray away from the Most High, you should be okay in these last days. Well, you know what? There's a reason why you got your family back. The Most High had everything to do with that. Mm-hmm. Quinice, 4 to 5 years. Okay, Andre said he's 18, been woke since 15. Yeah, there you go. So you can be awakened at any time. And sometimes it happens when you don't expect it. You know, you got to look at many of the circumstances that have happened in this country. Sometimes it is, and you know, it might be a relationship that broke up, that woke your eyes up. You know, it could be many circumstances. We all wake up at different times, and it may not make sense to you, but you know, the Most High has his reasons. But, you know, I'm glad that the white Jesus thing is finally somewhat, we're seeing, you know, it crumble. And it's being seen as the fraud that it always been all this time. Yeah, you know, I kind of did too. Cameron, it was ISUPK is really the first camp I came across when I started watching YouTube videos. And that must have been like around, I would say like 2010, 2011, when I started seeing their videos. That was the first camp. And then I started seeing GMS and some of the other camps. Yeah, it is shocking when you find out, you know, and it angers me. You know, I think I was angry too, True Royal, because somebody else, another group of people are walking around with our identity and lying about who they are. And I think I was even more angry about that. You know, how do you walk around with somebody else's identity on you, and you're telling the world you are chosen, you are the Most High's people, and you're really not. You're telling a lie. You're speaking a lie. And this is why we can't say random things out of our mouths and say, thus saith the Lord. No, thus saith the Most High. No, that didn't come from the Most High. That came from your wicked soul. That didn't come from him. But I come across people that do that, and that you're not supposed to do that. You can't speak for the Heavenly Father. I'm trying to. What is your question, Obey? Obey. The question is, why would you do that? I'm trying. What? Why would I do what? You might be talking to someone else. It's okay. No, the Most High is not in those churches, Anthony. You're right. The Most High is not in those churches. And I was really astonished to even find a preacher tell his congregation, this is fake. This white Jesus is fake. You know, you don't come across that a lot. It's really surprising, but it also shows you the signs of the time, and the awakening is real. Yeah, well, the Hebrew that is spoke by the Israelis or the Jewish people is not the Hebrew that our forefathers spoke. Okay, they did not speak it mixed with Yiddish and modern Hebrew. They did not speak the language that you hear today. Just make sure you understand that it's totally different from what our forefathers spoke. Yeah, he did tell them the right thing, James. You know, it's good to see that minister that is about telling the truth, because too many instances, just like the floating pastor that I did a video on, you know, they are in it for the money. He wants to entertain them for more money. It's not even about telling them the truth. And I think that's disgusting. At least now, in this instance, we're seeing the truth come out, and we should see that more often. Yeah, the language they speak, hood mistress is an abomination, because what they did was they mixed in Yiddish, which is some Gentile language, in with the modern Hebrew. So it is something totally different from what our forefathers spoke. It's not the same language. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to be us, but they can never be us. You know, I watched a video, this must have been like around 2012, and one of those Israelis was talking, and he was saying, well, what do you do if we tell the world the truth about us not being Jews? Then the world will be mad at us. So we're afraid to tell the truth. Well, that's your problem. You shouldn't have told the lie. So, you know, I don't care what happens to them when the truth comes out. That's their problem. I'm not concerned about that. The only ones I'm concerned about are my people. Yeah. You know, the Ashkenazi, he spoke about them, you know, and remember, they were supposed to be eliminated off of the earth. It was King Saul that was given the responsibility to kill them all. He disobeyed the Most High. If you remember, he was supposed to kill the Ashkenazis, all of them. And because of his disobedience, this is what we're dealing with now. So you understand why the Most High tells you to do something, you do it. Oh, you won't be alone, Andre. I won't be shedding no tears either. You won't be alone on that. You know what, S. Perry, I thought I had you as a moderator, but I think I did on my other channel, but not this one. So I modded you. All right. No, they're not. And I think they're going to have to admit it after a while. Plus, you know, the Most High said he's going to make the world, he's going to reveal to the world who we are. And a lot of people on this earth already know who we are. So it won't be no denying. Remember, you're going to see things that never happened before. And if you remember, it's going to be nations that will help send us back to our land. So you don't have to, you know, I've even had somebody say, what if we got to get out of here and I don't have the money? You won't need the money. We're going to be leaving out of here rich as hell. You know, remember, he said, we are leaving out of here. We're going to be loaded. You're going to have so much wealth when we leave out of here. It's not even funny. And he said, there will be nations that will help send us back to our land. So you won't have to worry about a thing. None of us will. All right, everybody. I know today's lesson's a little shorter than normal, and that's because, Micah's really not a big chapter, but a good chapter because of the judgment of the Gentiles that's in that book. So it's always good. Even the small books in the Bible are very significant. They really are. We're going to start getting into the Apocrypha. So we'll start touching on that a little more next week. We'll get into Ezra, and we'll get into the book of Maccabees as well, which the Gentiles removed from the Bible because it spoke too much truth about them, y'all. It was, as soon as something speaks too much truth, then it gets removed. And when you hear the book of Maccabees, you'll hear where all the killing, their killer instinct and all of that comes from. Well, you're not supposed to flee the chosen one. We'll be taken out of here in time. And like I said, we won't have to pay for our relocation. It's all, the Most High got this all planned out. There is no need for anyone to flee. I mean, and where are you going to flee? No matter where we go on this planet, we're hated. So seriously, where are you going to flee? We're hated all over the world. I mean, our Heavenly Father knows where we all are. You don't have to change to another landmass for him to know where you are. He knows where we are. Yeah, you can get an Apocrypha. And some Bibles have it already built into it. I have a Bible and the Apocrypha is already written into the Bible. And then if you don't have that kind of Bible, you can buy the separate Apocrypha book. And it's very inexpensive. In fact, let me show some of you that might be new what this book looks like. Hold on one second. Okay, you'll see many different ones, but here's one of the Apocryphas right here. It's hard copy, 1355, and this is the one that I have. Where is it? Hold on 1 second here. Where's that? It's the one I clicked on. Yeah, they have it for Kindle. I think if you got like a Kindle, you can get it for let me go back. Oh, I saw it. Oh, here's the one that I have right here. I have this Apocrypha. Let me make my screen zoom in a little more. And they're really not that expensive if you want to buy an Apocrypha. All right, and there's a bunch of different ones that you can buy, or you can just get the Bible. Like this is a King James with the Apocrypha right there in there. Oh, wow. Calfskin leather binding. Wow. Okay. Fancy stuff there. But most of them are, you could get most apocryphers like this one. You can get one for under $20. They're really not that expensive. You can come to Amazon and get that. Well, the reason why they believe he loves everyone because they won't accept their punishment, Anthony Bates. That is, it's just a way of deflecting and believing that they will not be punished for everything they've done. So that's why they'll say things like, oh, well, God loves everybody. Well, I don't know what God you know that loves everybody. Okay. No, he does not love everybody. That is a lie, but that's a lie that has been told for many centuries. He does not love everybody. Or the new one I've heard, and I'm not sure if you heard this one, Anthony Bates. I heard they know they're going into captivity, and they're saying after their captivity is done, they're going to go and be with us in heaven. And I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. But that's the new one they're trying to say. We did our captivity, the real Hebrews, and we're going into the kingdom. And their new lie is, well, when they get done with their captivity, they're going to be in the kingdom too. And I'm like, no, that's not what's going to happen. But again, this is a new lie they're trying to push. It never said that we have to share the kingdom with Esau. Okay. It doesn't say that anywhere, but that's the new one they're trying to tell. No, we're not required to love everybody. And it's sickening that people say that kind of stuff because it's fake. There's no way we can love everybody. We just can't. That's humanly impossible. Right. That's what I'm saying, Anthony Bates. They're trying to say when they're done with their 1,000 years of captivity, they will be allowed in the kingdom. And I was like, no, it doesn't say that anywhere. But this is the new lie they're trying to push out here. Yeah, he will be exterminated from the earth. That's right, Cameron. After they serve, they're done. Their time on this earth is over. Yes, I agree. And remember, everybody that looks like Israel is not Israel. They may look like Israel, but they're not Israel. Right. Yeah, they do. They get upset when they think we don't all love them. That is very true, True Royal. That touches their core and in ways you can't imagine. They want the luxury of feeling any way they want about us, but we, no matter what they do to us, must love them. And that's unrealistic for any of them to feel that way. Very unrealistic. Because they know who we are. They know who we are. Yeah, they were never promised everlasting life. It never said in scripture, it does not say Esau gets everlasting life. So they have a shelf life. We don't have a shelf life, but they have one. Shalom, cheetah baby. I don't love them either. Yeah, well, they're trying, they're cleaving now, Cameron. You know, when they come to our channels and then whine about, oh, that's racist, because they're realizing that we don't all embrace them. And so when they come to our channels and watch what's going on, that's exactly what they're doing. They're cleaving. They're doing it now. I mean, they're always cleaving to us. I mean, this is why do you think they're so desperate now? They know they're losing, they know they're falling, and this is why we're seeing all this crazy behavior out in public. And they're going to get crazier as we go along. Wait until you see how nuts they go in 2019. We're approaching the 400 years. Watch how crazy and out of their minds they go in 2019. They're going to really be losing their minds. Yeah, but see, you know what? Race mixing is not going to do them any good for the simple fact that we have the dominant gene. So it's really not going to do them any good. Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, they thought the chemtrails were going to work, and their asses are still burning up left and right with the chemtrails up there. Right. But you know what? Yes, there will be more shootings. But you know what? The Most High told us, never worry about a person that can kill the body. You worry if they can kill the soul. And Esau has never figured out how to kill the soul. All they can do is kill your body. And he already told us, don't worry about a person that can kill your body. We ain't going to have these bodies no more after this Gentile world is over anyway. We're not going to have these bodies anymore. So who cares what they do to the body? They can't ruin the soul. I mean, if they can get to your soul, that's a whole different thing, but they're not smart enough to figure that out. Yeah, that's right. Our spirit. That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, we got a lot to look forward to, y'all. No matter what is going on online, we have a lot to look forward to. Just understand it's going to be a lot of people trying to derail us along the way. And some of those people are going to look like us that will try to derail you. But stay strong and stay firm in the Most High. Yes, I heard that too, Jamal Bey. They're trying to block the sun. Nah. Mm. I thought the chemtrails were supposed to be such a smashing success. Chemtrails are not doing anything. That sun is still making it through the chemtrails. So we're supposed to go without the sun because of a dying group of people on the planet. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can't preserve a dying group of people. Okay? You can't preserve those folks. It would be stupid to keep them on the planet. They're dying out now. Why would anybody keep them on the planet? Well, yeah, they're not, they can try to block the sun all they want. It ain't going to do them any good. I promise you, that sun is going to come right through every single time, every single time. That's right. It's burning them to a crisp, Cheetah, burning their asses up. Well, I can tell you around me during the summer when I'm out, I see their red asses all over the place. You can't walk in any place of business and not see them all red looking from the sun, burnt up. Well, Miss X, I don't know if we will be out of here in 2019, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of changes going on this earth. Once we reach that 400-year mark, it's going to be a lot of changes going on. Well, they're not human, wayward. They're not human. The sun does. It's life, and it nourishes everything on the planet, including the animals and the plants. But for them, it's like they are allergic to the sun. They are allergic to the sun, which tells you they're an unnatural being on the earth. They are completely unnatural. And the sun is showing you they don't belong here. They're artificial, part human, part animal. They don't belong here. That's what the sun is showing you when they get burnt up and need sunscreen. And those things are unnatural. You should not exist on the earth and you need creams on the shelf in order to make it. Something ain't right. Yeah, the sun has always tried to get rid of them since they've been on this earth. Yeah, their suicide is up, and so is the drug deaths. This is why Pennsylvania is arming everybody with Narcan, and they're going to do it in other states. You just watch. You're going to hear about other states passing out free Narcan because it has gotten so bad and so out of control. They now need the public's help with all of these junkies out here. It's really bad. Every now and then you'll see stories on EMTs, and sometimes that's their calls all day long, or just going from one junkie to the next, shooting up some Narcan in them. Can you imagine if the Most High stop allowing that Narcan to work? It won't be nobody left in the house of Esau. Yeah, well, I know there's one in Philadelphia they were supposed to open. I think it's opening the beginning of 2019. No, I'm not carrying it either. I mean, I don't have to revive anybody around me. They're not doing no opioids. Yeah, they burn year round, Cameron. That's true. They burn year round. Very true. All right, y'all. I have a hangout on my main channel at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about the power of the Black YouTube voice. So make sure you come on over to that hangout a little later. Hogweed. Well, look, we're not that far away. I mean, these seasons go by pretty quickly. So, you know, we're midway through winter. We're going to get through once spring come. Yeah, the hogweed is going to be everywhere. You know, I was reading articles last year when we were all doing stories on the hogweed and hangouts and stuff. They were talking about they want to eradicate the world of hogweed. I said, you're that scared of a plant? They want to eradicate it from the world. I was reading that last year, this past summer. They were like, we want to eradicate this plant from the world. I'm like, okay, you want to eradicate? Then I better gather some seeds. I need bags and bags of hogweed seeds. Oh man. All right, y'all. I will see you on my next hangout. And those of you that are still, because I probably got at least another maybe hour and a half of daylight. So please enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. And we will come together again next week. All right, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.